Continuing. Uh, now this is recording using a different computer, so please bear with the change in the resolution size. The impersonal description of the absolute truth in the Vedas is given to nullify the mundane conception of the absolute whole. See, the Vedas, the Upanishads, they talk about how the absolute truth does not have senses and so forth. Why is this stated? This is actually stated in order to make it clear that the Supreme Absolute Truth does not have any material senses as we can conceive of. Personal features of the Lord are completely different from all kinds of mundane features. Svetara samasta vastu vilakshana swarupaha. The Supreme Lord has been described as being absolutely distinct from everything that is within our material experience. And therefore, in order to help us understand that Supreme Personality of Godhead is completely different, His nature is described as being the negative of whatever we have experienced. Na iti, na iti. This is called atat nirasana. It is not this, it is not that. It is not this that is in front of me. It is not that which I have not yet seen in material existence. It is neither the Supreme Absolute Truth's nature is neither like anything that I have experienced in this cosmos within my memory, nor is it any different from nor is it in any manner similar to or comparable with anything that I can experience within material cosmos. Atat nirasana. This is called denying what the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not. This is basically saying that what Krishna is not, and the Upanishads often do this, and you will find even in the Bhagavad Gita, you will find a text such as here 15.6 Natad bhasayate suryo na shashanko na pavaka yadgatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. That supreme abode of mine is not illumined by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world. Look at this. Here the supreme abode of Krishna has been described negatively, that it is not illumined by the sun, it is not illumined by the moon, it is not illumined by fire or radiant energy. So this is a description via negativa. This is a description of what a certain entity is not. So in the Upanishads, this kind of descriptions are oftentimes given. Prabhupada has described this in 10.13.57, one of the purports. The phrase Atan Nirasana refers to the discarding of that which is irrelevant. Atat means that which is not a fact. Brahman is sometimes described as Asthulam, Ananvu, Ahrasvam, Adirgham, that which is not large and not small, not short and not long. You'll find this description in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 5.8.8. Neti neti. It is not this, it is not that. But what is it? In describing a pencil, one may say it is not this, it is not that. But this does not tell us what it is. This is called definition by negation. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also explains the soul by giving negative definitions. Najayate mriyadeva. It is not born, nor does it die. You can hardly understand more than this. But what is it? It is eternal. Ajonitya shashvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. It is unborn, eternal, ever-existing, undying and primeval. It is not slain when the body is slain. This is Bhagavad Gita 2.20. In the beginning, the soul is difficult to understand, and therefore Krishna has given negative definitions. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayanti apo, na shosheti marutaha. The soul can never be cut into pieces by any weapon, nor can it be burnt by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. Bhagavad Gita 2.23. Krishna says it is not burned by fire. Therefore, one has to imagine what it is that is not burned by fire. This is a negative description. And here are some more instances. This is a commentary on Bhagavatam 1087.41 by Sri Gopi Puranadana Prabhu. There are many statements of Shruti that carry on the work of Atan Nirasanam, the process of distinguishing the supreme from everything inferior. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 388, for example, states Athulam, Ananu, Ahraswam, Adirham, Alohitam, Asneham, Achayam, Atamo, Vayuvanakasham, Asangama, Rasam, Agandham, Achakshushkam, Ashotram, Agamano, Tejaskam, Apranam, Asukham, Avatram, Anantaram Avahyam. It is neither big nor small, short nor long, hot nor cool, in shadow nor in darkness, nor is it the wind or the ether. It is not in contact with anything. It has no taste, smell, eyes, ears, motion, potency, life, air, pleasure, measurement, inside or outside. The Kena Upanishad declares, Anyadeva tad viditad atho aviditad adhi. Brahman is distinct from what is known and also from what is yet to be known. And the Katha Upanishad 2.14 says, Anyatra dharmad, anyatra adharmad, anyatra asmad, krita kritat. Brahman is outside the scope of religion and irreligion, pious and impious action. So these are all various ways by which the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been denied in terms of everything that is materially within our experience. The living entities are all individual persons, and they are all parts and parcels of the Supreme Whole. If the parts and parcels are individual persons, the source of their emanation must not be impersonal. He is the Supreme Person amongst all the relative persons. Now the Vedas very, very clearly establish that the Supreme Absolute Truth is a person. Very clear. One cannot deny that. There are several statements in several Upanishads which make it clear. For instance, if you simply look at the Isha Upanishad, the first of the 10 Upanishads, it is very clear that that absolute truth is described as being a person. Hiranmayena patrena satya sapihitam mukham tattvam pushanapa vrinu satya dharmaya drishtaye. Very, very clearly, O my Lord, sustainer of all that lives, your real face is covered by your dazzling effulgence. Please remove that covering and exhibit yourself to your pure devotee. This is Isha Upanishad, Mantra 15. Very clear that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is a person. Like this, there are so many instances. And here is another logic, that the living entities have emanated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He is a person. The Supreme Absolute Truth, the source of all the living entities, is a Chetana, is a conscious living being. And He is the Supreme Person. He is the Absolute Person amongst all other persons who are relative. Nityo Nityanam, Chetanas Chetananam, Eko Bahunam, Yo Vidadhati Kaman, Tamatmastham Yeno Pashyanti Dhira, Yesham Shanti, Tesham Shanti. Those who understand that that Supreme Person who supplies the needs of every other conscious being, He is eternal, they are also eternal, but He is supplying their needs. One who understands Him who is situated within the self, he becomes peaceful. So what is that peace? That peace means liberation. So from this we very clearly understand that the Supreme Absolute Truth is actually a person. He is the source of all living entities. Janmadyasya yataha. The living entities have emanated from Him. Mamayvamsho jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana. The living entities are His eternal parts and parcels. And therefore, He is being the source of all these individual personalities, he is also a person. After all, the source cannot contain, cannot not contain that which is possessed by its emanations. The Vedas inform us that from him, Brahman, everything emanates, and on him everything rests. Brahman is the Upanishadic reference to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Vedas inform us that from him, Brahman, everything emanates, and on him everything rests. And after annihilation, everything merges in him only. Therefore, he is the ultimate dative, causative, and accommodating cause of all causes. And these causes cannot be attributed to an impersonal object. What does this mean? You see, in the Upanishads, there is a discussion about where is this? There is a discussion about who is the Supreme Absolute Truth. What is the nature of the Supreme Absolute Truth? Here in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 6, text 144 purport, there is a discussion about this particular mantra. Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayanti avisam vishanti tad brahma tad vijigyasasva. This is from the Taittiriya Upanishad 3.1. Bhrigu, who was the son of Varuna, once asked his father Varuna, please explain to me about Brahman, the absolute truth. At that time, Varuna spoke this very, very important text which clearly defines that Supreme Absolute Truth. That Supreme Absolute Truth is defined as the origin of all living entities and the rest of all. After creation, everything rests in his omnipotence, and after annihilation, everything again returns to rest in him. So this is the Vedic hymn. Now here, see, Yatha, which is modified into Yato by certain Sanskrit grammatical rules, comes up. The word Yatha means the absolute truth from which the cosmic manifestation has emanated. Now this is technically called the ablative case. The ablative case refers to the one from whom the cosmic manifestation has emanated. So he is the source. That Brahman by which this universal creation is maintained is in the instrumental case, Yena. And not only is he the source, but he is also the instrument through whom this universal creation is maintained. And apart from that, that Brahman, that Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is that one into which the whole cosmic manifestation merges, and that is placed in the locative case, Yat or Yasmin. Notice here, Yataha is here in a modified form, Yena is here, and you find Yat here. Yat stands for Yasmin. Now if you don't understand Sanskrit grammar, you will not understand the meanings of these expressions, ablative case, instrumental case, and locative case. The idea is that Supreme Brahman is the location in which the whole cosmic manifestation is resting on. So the idea is that Brahman is certainly the living personality of Godhead. He is not certainly an impersonal object. He is the one for whose sake the universe is existing. In other words, it exists in order to fulfill his functions, his purposes. The universe is not independent of him, and in that sense, he is the ultimate dative cause.